Are we live yet? There we go. We're live. We're live. Well, what? You guys in the chat. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And I wanted to go over some of the things that we could talk about with Savanah, the family. Tonight, I had seen in a couple of Facebook groups and some people talking about that Savanah's family is going to be on Court TV tonight at 7 p.m. Central, so that's 8 p.m. Eastern. So that should be interesting. I'm actually thinking of coming back later tonight. Maybe we can watch together. I don't think it should be a problem. So I'm curious to see what the family will have to say. They also did a segment today. It was kind of like a 10, 11-minute segment, so we'll watch that as well. I don't think they have like any updates, but I think they brought on some like a panel and maybe some experts to talk about it. I haven't watched yet. And I think what is interesting too, I guess last night, Matthew's brother went on TikTok, I think on another TikToker's page, and he discussed some of the things with his brother. I haven't listened to it yet, but I read somebody's notes, and one of the things he mentions is he believes like this was a setup. And he also talks and references the broken glass of the vehicle. So we're going to get into that, quite a few things. And also the psychic mess that has been going on. And the guy finally replied. You guys might remember yesterday. I don't know if you saw. Let me see if I can just play it real quick for anybody that missed it. Though I don't think many people missed it. But there was this TikToker that people claim he's solved cases before, or he's helped cases before. I don't know how. And honestly, because some people would say that I've heard of cops asking for assistance from psychics, but I don't know of one that's ever been solved because of a psychic. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. If somebody has a story, send me an email. I'd love to check it out sometime. But I just don't believe it. I remember a long time ago I covered that topic, the psychic thing, and there was this one lady saying that there's never been one case. So I'd like to see it myself. But for those, in case you, where am I at? Boom, there we go. For those that just missed it yesterday, I'm only gonna play a few seconds. We're not gonna go through the whole thing.
His chest was straight down and then his belly just went.
Oh, wow. Hold on, the volume. Sorry about that. Turn on the limiter. Okay.
Like a cartoon character. Who was that, Matt? What? Savanah Soto. Matt Guerra. Who was that? Who was that big ass Teletubby? What's his name? Yeah, thanks, you can tell it.
Did he say Teletubby? Anyway, so he goes on to say that they hear a voice named Julian, right? And also, some people in the Facebook groups too are a little kind of fed up with the magic stuff, or it says here there should really be a separate group for Savanah and Matt paranormal group. This group went from missing person to CSI to now ghost hunters in the Flash. Now, there's a big following for the stuff, so I try not to be like, disrespectful of other people's beliefs. But when it comes to innocent people being accused without any kind of evidence, that's where I have a problem. I'm going to show you a couple things with this whole situation, and then we can move on to some other stuff. But, I always feel like when we get to covering these big stories and we have a chance to like debunk or at least step in and be like, hey, this is not true. That's not true. This is BS. Because you'd be surprised how many people believe this. There's a lot of people that are like rolling their eyes, right? Like me. But then I see some of the comments like, yeah, you murderer. Yeah, turn yourself in, blah, blah, blah. Yo, he solved other cases. I'm like, wow, really? So we got to do it. So one of the things too, let me see, with this guy, I guess they went searching through his old history, which the person that made this post on Facebook got a little bit of backlash. But it said here, hit me up if you want your vehicle painted. So they went looking through his other posts. Anybody that's ever painted a vehicle or worked with vehicles, I guess, is now a suspect if they fit the size or structure of a bigger person. The other thing, so I don't think he did this, or maybe it was his post. I don't know if, no, I think his wife posted this on his page or something. And it says here, to everyone bashing me in my place of business, please call Detective Goodwin from Homicide. We are not a person of interest. So for the people, I hate for this person to be inundated, this detective, but if these people feel like, this is what they have to do, waste resources, and they need some type of like proof and evidence. You could just randomly accuse anybody. There's no kind of proof, just a voice in some box, and you will be hunted down. And they'll come for your family. They'll come for your business, and that's okay, right? So drop the phone number here. I'd appreciate it if you would all keep my family and friends out of any posts or TikToks from a simple man trying to provide for my family. For those of you who knows me personally, I appreciate your support and loyalty and all this misunderstanding. My condolences to the family going through this tragedy. So, nice, respectable post. And he dropped, you feel, well, people that have all this time on their hands, there's a phone number there you can call. And maybe it's time to shift your focus. I don't know. And I did send a message. And I said, hi, thanks for sharing. Sorry you guys are going through this. And the person, I don't know if it's his wife or family member, they replied back. And she said, they don't understand how something like this can affect someone's life, especially my family. We all stood quiet because we knew it was faulty being accused. Oh, I didn't see the whole message. Let's see if I can get the whole message. Thought I expanded it. So I think people will move on from this now. Hopefully, I think they'll. She didn't finish what she was writing. I think they'll leave this guy alone. Hopefully, because I saw another post too in some other group. Did I save it here? Oh, I did save it here. Did I redact it? I think I redacted it. Let me just for 1 second, just be sure. I did redact it. So there was some other, like somebody had posted this, but without a date. And I get hesitant sometimes when I don't see a date and it's cropped. But somebody had posted this, and one of the person's name was this guy, and it says here, deals 2 or more. But I don't know if somebody just made this post recently to troll or I don't know, to cause problems. I don't know. But he dropped the phone number. He says he's not a person of interest. So for those, the paranormal people, you can kind of move on, I guess. Oh, this is just somebody posted this earlier today, and this is the same TikToker.
I didn't pay no attention. I didn't even know who Annalisa is until I went and looked.
I don't know if there's copyright music, but he says he doesn't know who Annalisa is, which I don't even know if that's true, but then it chops over to the voice box, and Annalisa's...
Matthew Guerra or Savanah Soto, did your family have anything to do with this? Any family members? Please tell us yes or no. Matthew Guerra or Savanah Soto, did any of your family members have anything to do with this?
Anyway, moving on from that. All right, so this is Matthew's brother. We're going to get into that. June 19, 2023, Julie, thank you. It's somebody with the same name, but I don't want to have people keep hunting this dude down. He put that phone number there, contact the detectives, whatever. People really feel that way. But not to hunt these people down or go for the place of business. So the streets posted this. This is Matthew's brother, and we're going to get into the video from last night. And if you guys could hit the like button, please, I'd appreciate it. The like button, share button. Appreciate you coming through. By the way, yesterday's video got demonetized. I think I showed too much of the Telegram stuff. I've somewhat shown it a little bit before, but yesterday I think we just looked at way too much of illicit substances, so we can't do that today, I guess. We've already pretty much seen what there is to see, but we'll just avoid focusing on that. Now that I ain't blocked, I got things I want to get a few things off my chest. One, if you got a problem with Savanah and my brother, Matthew, you can address it in my inbox and we can meet in person and talk about it. Two, if you want to think my brother would always just beat Savanah and they weren't happy, you're wrong. If you think the whole situation is funny and not something serious, then you're a sick-ass individual. You need to be taught a lesson. We will get justice regardless. 5, my brother loved Savanah in ways I can't even explain. Savanah loved Matthew so much. They were literally inseparable, and both were so happy for baby Fabian. I don't give a F what anyone says. My brother was a good person. He just made some mistakes, as everyone does. Nobody is perfect, but it's always going to be the same from our family. It's always going to be long live Matthew, long live Savanah, R.I.P. to my unborn nephew, Fabian. I love you all so much. And somebody here said, sorry, as a DV survivor, I can't sympathize with his actions towards her. I saw a post, and I don't think I saved it in my tabs, but I saw a post earlier where it looked like somebody had DM'd the streets, and that message got posted. And that person was very nasty and vile when they messaged the streets. But they mentioned the whole DV situation and that, like, supposedly he would hit her all the time. And he replied, the street said that something, I'm paraphrasing, that he knew that Matthew sometimes did that, but it would never go to like this length of like murder or anything like that. So I don't know. There's a lot of mixed opinions. In the chats. Winnie says, a few days ago you mentioned Trevor Tobias Morris. He was definitely arrested for kidnapping. Have you heard anything about it? I've addressed that multiple times, Winnie. And I said from day one when we first saw it that there's nothing connecting this guy to Savanah and Matthew and Fabian. And then I even pulled up the article that shows it was a completely unrelated incident. So I honestly feel like we covered that days ago. Do you have email? Do you have email to the 10th woman? I have her email. I don't know if she's emailed me again, but we exchanged emails the other day when she sent me her phone number. Now this is the live from last night where the brother was on. I want to listen to this. I found like an extended version. Let's listen to this here first.
And everything, you know, they were gonna go back.
So then the other thing is, obviously, like you said, and that's what I assumed too, like, that he was probably carrying something for protection, but that wasn't found in the vehicle from what the police.
Yeah, no, his gun was for sure stolen.
Yeah, they only found bullet casings, but even then, they
So his gun was for sure stolen. Yeah.
probably carrying something for protection, but that wasn't found in. The other thing is, obviously, like you said, and that's what I assumed too, like, that he was probably carrying something for protection, but that wasn't found in the vehicle from what the police.
Yeah, no, his gun was for sure stolen.
Yeah, they only found bullet casings, but even then, they could have been placed there, you know, to try and make it seem like it happened in the car. But it's just, I think ultimately right now is hopefully they have enough surveillance to be able to find where these cars came from. Because I truly believe, based on looking at everything, that it happened somewhere else too. That it was set up by somebody they knew, because somebody doesn't use the apartment.
Yeah, nah. My brother would. If my brother knew he wasn't gonna go back to the apartment, he would have turned off the candle. He would have took the diaper bag, knowing if he was gonna be gone all day, he would have took the diaper bag with him. And yeah.
And if it happened in the car, they would not have had to like blow out the windows. The windows would have been blown out.
Yeah, exactly.
But even further, like, if somebody that knew it had to be somebody that knew that they were about to go to the hospital. Once she's in the hospital, and he was probably going to be with her for like a full 2 days, you know, after the baby was born. So like they had to know that he was about to get induced.
It was someone that was either close to Savanah or someone that was close to my brother that had information that others didn't, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think too. After the videos play, we're gonna go over somebody took notes and highlights of this. But that's what I think too. I don't think it was just a drug thing gone bad or a deal gone bad. It could be, but I also think it was very, and a lot of people have said this, personal. Oh shoot.
Exactly.
Liam, I don't want to cut y'all off. I just want to say, Stephen, because I got to do a radio segment right now and I got to jump off of here. I just want to say, your family and everybody, Savannah's families in our prayers. And, we're praying that we get justice. We're here for y'all. We love y'all. We just want you to know that we're here. If you need to talk, if you need a vent, we're always on here. I'm jumping off and on because, in between radio segments and stuff. I just want you to know we may be strangers, but at the end of the day, brother, like, we love you.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone. God bless all of y'all. It's all love.
My condolences to your family, Stephen. I do, I am sorry, very sorry what happened to you and your family and Savannah's family. I do hope that you both get justice, and you guys do deserve justice. And whoever did it, whoever they did, did it, I hope they do get the death penalty, because this is just wrong.
I appreciate everyone.
Yeah, and if there's anything else you need from like the community, because I know the community keeps growing here and more, like I said, and I would say 95% of the people here, they're invested because it touched their hearts in a particular way, whether it was because of the baby, your brother, and nobody judges, because let's be honest, we all have our past and we all do stuff. And at the end of the day, nobody deserves what happened to your family. So this
especially a pregnant woman.
Exactly. But even then, it's like nobody has the right to judge anything because they're not living it, Yeah. And all we can do is support, and hopefully, because we are community, I'm Latino, you guys are Latino, and when there's something like this happens, we do have that connection. And I grew up and I have friends who are in similar circumstances. So our whole goal with this chat is helping spread. We've been spending time analyzing that video, trying to find something that maybe the police hasn't found. And hopefully people in the chat, if you guys are in that location and what the area that he says, if you guys have a Ring camera or your car has a camera or something, check it out. You never know. Sometimes you get stuff and it solves the crime.
Check your Ring cameras.
If anybody has information, please make sure
everybody send Stephen gifts, guys. Don't send them to me.
Everybody follow his account too. Follow the account. And
if y'all want to gift him right now.
Maybe skim money. Yeah, he was definitely selling drugs. Maybe we should have listened to the shorter video.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys heard a bong rip?
Has the police suggested about a reward, or why hasn't there been a reward for information put up yet?
Because like I said, they're not doing enough in this investigation. We wanted to go to the FBI about this, but the lead detective said that he didn't want to get them involved for whatever reason.
They want to take all the credit for it.
Yeah, because they want to take all the credit into this leading to this investigation. So if we don't get no news in the next week, because my brother gets buried on the 9th. My brother gets buried on the 9th. So if we don't have any new information by then, me and my family will go to the FBI ourselves.
Yes,
and
y'all should do that.
Yes, because I feel like the FBI would get more into this case than SAPD would.
Maybe we can do
think maybe we could reach out to and like send them letters and reach out to them?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Okay. If anything y'all want to do to help with this investigation, get solved faster. Oh yeah, by all means.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if people call the hotline and stuff like that and put pressure on them, and also if by the 9th they don't get no news, it will be a good idea if, as a community, everybody who's doing lives, everybody who's invested in the case, if we join together and put money towards a reward, maybe we can get more information, because ultimately there's a lot of people invested in this, and I think sometimes you got to put your money where your mouth is.
We don't need security.
I think mainly because
a reward.
So I wanted to stop for a second. So Tracy here says, I hope you see this. If the neighbors heard her scream, wonder why they didn't call cops the night before they went missing. So I saw some people having a conversation about that on Facebook, and maybe the people in the chat, locals, Texas people, whatever, you could kind of maybe answer to that as well. But I had seen somebody say that like in those communities and stuff like that sometimes where it's not that great. Like for example, that ring doorbell cam where like we saw there was gunshots and these kids like come running out towards the shot. They open the door like, what the hell? Like why are they running towards the shot? Who does that? And so in some of those places, or just not even just those places, but sometimes people, they hear a type like some scream or whatever, and people just don't take any action. People just don't call the cops. Maybe that's common in those apartment complexes, screaming or whatever. I have a TikTok account and I have a few videos on there, but I don't really post on there. I've never really been into TikTok much, but I have a few videos on there that I've posted. The whole FBI not wanting, or the lead investigator not wanting to get FBI involved, I thought that was a little interesting. If that's true, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah. Una says, even in nice areas, people won't call. It happens every day. Maybe sometimes people are afraid to get involved. They get called and now they're part of they got to go be a witness in some investigation. The other thing too, I'm gonna address this next thing after somebody sent me an interesting email. We'll keep going on with this.
I think mainly. Sorry,
I'm trying to ask. Like, would you want to make the account to send reward money to?
I wouldn't want to make that account. If anything, y'all, my brother, he would be interested in that. Like he could watch over that and stuff like that because I'm always working and stuff. So I never really have time to stay updated with stuff. Okay. And I just been missing work because of everything that's been going on. I already missed a whole week of work. So I just don't have the time on my hands to just stay updated with that. You know what I mean? But my brother, yeah, he would.
What's his TikTok username? Does he have a TikTok?
Yeah, he has a TikTok. It's under Sabian Anthony.
Like SABIAN Anthony?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah. He's damn it, I have too many followers now. I was gonna say it's easier to find him on my followers. Like when you go to followers, just search the name Sabian Anthony and he should pop up right there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Is there any other questions before I get off of this?
Let's be respectful now. He answered a lot, by the way.
Before he gets off, can we all make sure that we say a prayer,
Yes.
I would like to see if the host or Liam would do so, just because this has gotten big because of them too, especially, without, their putting their thoughts together, and especially, having everyone so invested into this case. I believe one of them too should be in
Lord, let's do it.
I'm not good with the prayer.
Does anybody want to do it?
Well, since I'm a minister, I'll do it.
Oh, yes.
Dear Father God, I pray over everybody in this live feed. I love everybody, dear Father. We're
Amen.
Amen.
And
I appreciate everything that y'all are doing. And again, from the bottom of my heart, it's all love on this side. I'm glad that I was told by y'all that, it wasn't negative comments being thrown at me or about me. I really appreciate it. And I thank y'all for having me on y'all's live. And y'all have the good rest of y'all.
Have a good night, mijo.
You're welcome.
Thank y'all so much.
Good night, Steven.
okay.
That was so nice.
Is Ramirez was a gator off of Access.
Okay. Is there any other on this?
Like, they did it the night or the day that she was supposed to have the baby.
Yeah. So
They planned this.
Somebody knew them and that was close to them. And
Yeah, the timing is just crazy. As far as the whole why people don't call cops and stuff, there's a lot of reasons. I see some people in the chat say they call all the time. Some people don't. I had a neighbor one time, really, really quick story. I lived in this neighborhood. We had a kind of like a trust thing. Like if you see something going down over there, whatever, like I'll look out for you or I'll call you, let you know. Anyway, one day I was leaving to go out and I saw these kids in the neighborhood I had never seen before. And they were just walking down the street and I had left. I didn't think too much of it, but I thought it was odd. I came back later and the cops were there. And apparently they had tried to break into the guy's house across the street. Well, they did break in actually. And the neighbor next to me had called the cops. And I guess they ended up eventually catching the kids. But he told me he regretted calling the cops because now he had to go testify. on all these 3 teenagers or whatever they are, and like he was worried about like retaliation and people coming back, and they were forcing him to go to court. This whole mess, So there could be a bunch of reasons why people don't want to be involved with calling the cops, but you could also be saving somebody's life.
Trust, and they were trusted by them, because it makes sense. So after, in a bit, we'll go over some of the key things to debunk a lot of the stuff we've been saying here that he answered, so that we can,
Yeah,
so that everybody
exactly.
in the comments, we can stop it with like, all the BS. So one of the key things he mentioned is the fact that,
The window wasn't
the window
bashed
was
in.
broken by the paramedics, by the ambulance people. So,
Yeah, so the window was broken by, because a lot of people were talking about this. We can go over some of these notes. The window was broken by the paramedics. It wasn't to do anything with the crime. I believe that's what Matthew's brother had said. So Matthew's brother was on TikTok live last night with Late Night Crime, and he went over a few things that I thought would be nice to clear up. They're not offering a reward, but the Late Night Crime host mentioned, oh Lord, what did I do? Should have done that. There we go. Sorry. Mentioned trying to possible start a fund for one to help. His brother mentioned that Matthew never had a relationship with Annalisa. He said she isn't his type, etc. Which that was a big thing too. People trying to connect the TikToker to Matthew and saying they had some kind of relationship. Brother says it's not true. The car window they found in was busted out by paramedics, not by anyone else on the scene. The family is unsure of who the suspects are, even though yesterday we had heard Matthew mention like they had a hinge, or like they thought of 3 people or something. Matthew's stepmother's GoFundMe page is a good place to donate to, or also reach out to her to donate directly to the funeral home. He also mentioned openly, since Matthew is now gone and cannot be incriminated, that Matthew did not work for a boss. He worked for himself in the lifestyle that he was in. He also mentioned that he believes they were set up. Matthew was always carrying a gun with him no matter what, so he believes he was caught off guard. Matthew's brother's girlfriend messaged Matthew's brother's girlfriend messaged Matthew's to his phone, and yes, there was bubbles as if someone was messaging back, but that was possibly a day before Savanah and Matthew were found. They tried calling, etc., and the phone was still on. No numbers were blocked, but no one answered or responded back. Savanah's and Matthew's phones are missing. Now, let's see. There was a 5-minute clip. Let me see if this is the same thing we just listened to, or is this another portion?
when they're in the keyboard,
but literally it said typing. I think it was the bubbles or typing.
So this is another part. This is what they're talking about, the bubbles. So supposedly after they're missing, it's like as if somebody was almost going to respond back.
Back to you.
when they're reading it, when they're in the keyboard,
literally it said typing. I think it was the bubbles or typing. I forgot, but it was on my girlfriend's phone. But she told me, she's like, babe, someone's typing, and then they stopped typing. And like they didn't block the number or nothing, but then the calls were going through, like it was ringing. Yeah. But somebody was typing back on the phone, and then they just stopped. Huh?
When was this? Like what day was this? Saturday?
I don't remember the day exactly. My girlfriend knows, but she's asleep, and I don't want to piss her off right now. But I don't know. It was in the morning. I think it was in the morning, sometime around 11. This was about. I think this was a day before they were found.
So Monday.
I believe.
Yeah. Because then
well, someone has their phone.
Yeah, that's what
somebody has his phone and her phone.
Oh my God.
So her phone was not in her house? There was some reports, some people were saying that the phone, her belongings were left in the apartment.
And that's what somebody just said in the chat. They had supposedly, I thought the baby bag and the Savannah's phone was in the apartment.
I don't know, because if that's true, then nobody would be typing back on her phone,
Yeah.
So I have no idea, but somebody 100% sure somebody was typing on her phone, because my girlfriend saw it and she freaked out. She's like, babe, someone's typing. And that gave me the speculation that they were alive. That gave me I was like, okay, they're alive. Okay, that's good.
So
But
do you think they were taken from their apartment, or if it was set up somewhere out? They saw somebody out there in the street or something, because there was some people were saying kidnapped. You know, like they were
look,
taken.
my brother always, like I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say the wrong things, but my brother's gone, so there's nothing illegally that anyone can do. My brother always carried a gun. My brother was never lacking. My brother was never the one that would just not have his gun. He always had his gun. He carried his gun everywhere he went. And I just feel like he was set up. I feel like he was followed from his apartment because they left all their belongings there. They left at 11 in the morning, but my brother, he was always up at like 12:30, 11:30 in the morning. I don't know. I just feel like they went out to go have breakfast real quick. He took a couple thousands with him, and he went out with his girlfriend before that they had to go to the hospital that day at 6:30 p.m. And I just felt like they were followed, and then they got trapped. And that's when I don't know. That's when they got kidnapped.
Yeah,
that's what I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So I wonder if the brother had a gun on him at the time, and then they took the gun, or he was just comfortable. I don't know. It did seem from the post, I don't know, like he carried his gun all the time.
My brother, they were saying, the neighbors said that they left in a Cadillac willingly, and I was like, that's weird, because my brother wouldn't get in somebody else's car because, one, he had his own car, and two, my brother's smarter than that. My brother, like I said, my brother carried himself. Yes, he made bad choices and stuff. He was living the fast life, but my brother carried himself very smart. Like, not too smart, but he always carried a gun on him. For him to, get caught lacking and set up, like, that wouldn't be my brother. Like,
do you think that they did this on, like, planned it, like, before she would have the baby?
Like they were planning it a couple weeks before they did it, or it could have been months. I don't know. But, yeah.
And was a candle lit in the house? Because everybody's talking about,
the candle was on.
Okay. So they were expecting to come back, obviously.
They were. The diaper bag was there for the baby and everything. They were going to go back.
So then the other thing is, obviously, like you said, and that's what I assumed too, like that he was probably carrying something for protection. But that wasn't found in the vehicle from what the police...
Yeah, no, his gun was for sure stolen.
Yeah, they only found bullet casings, but even then, they could have been placed there, to try and make it seem like it happened in the car. But it's just, I think ultimately right now is hopefully they have enough surveillance to be able to find where these cars came from. Because I truly believe, based on looking at everything, that it happened somewhere else too. That it was set up by somebody they knew, because somebody doesn't use their apartment.
Yeah, nah. My brother would. If my brother knew he wasn't gonna go back to the apartment, he would have turned off the candle. He would have took the diaper bag, knowing if he was gonna be gone all day, he would have took the diaper bag with him. And yeah.
And if it happened in the car, they would not have had to like blow out the windows. The windows would have been blown out.
Yeah, exactly.
But even further, like.
And they already stated supposedly that the windows are broken up by paramedics, according to the brother.
If somebody that knew, it had to be somebody that knew that they were about to go to the hospital. Once she's in the hospital, and he was probably going to be with her for like a full 2 days, after the baby was born. So like they had to know that he was about to get induced.
It was someone that was either close to Savanah or someone that was close to my brother that had information that others didn't,
Yeah, exactly.
Liam, I don't want to cut y'all off. I just want to say, Steve.
So I thought that was kind of interesting from the brother. Also, just kind of, this is a really short video, but the councilman's plea to help find killers pregnant Savanah Soto and boyfriend Matthew. And for the new people that join, I don't know if you heard, tonight Court TV is going to have Savanah's family on Court TV live. So I'll be coming back later. It's at 7 p.m. Central. So that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll come back on later so we can watch it together. I don't know how long or short it's going to be. But I don't know. Could be interesting to watch.
Into the murders of mother-to-be Savanah Soto, along with her boyfriend Matthew Guerra. The case bringing attention to violent crimes happening right here in San Antonio. This right here is a look at the LexisNexis crime
I gotta show you
map
guys something
that tracks the recent crime from thefts, burglaries, and murders over the last few days. All the bodies of Savanah Soto and her boyfriend Matthew were found in District.
I'm assuming it's somebody said, was it a real candle or an LED one? I'm assuming it's a real one, since they're making such a significant thing about it, because if it was LED, I would think that's not a big deal.
7, Councilman Manny Pelaez of District 8 says the heinous crime impacts all of the city. He's asking residents to help investigators with any tips or information that can help police catch the people responsible.
That we will not tolerate crimes perpetrated on our residents here in San Antonio. Anybody who did this has forfeited their right to be among us. When caught, I fully expect our DA to keep his word and to prosecute this person to the fullest extent.
If you'll remember, back in September, the San Antonio City Council approved a $3.7 billion budget that included an increase of millions of dollars to the San Antonio police budget.
It's interesting because I remember they were trying to, everybody was trying to like defund the police, and I don't think that worked out too great. Maybe they could have fixed some policies and stuff, but you know.
That money not only went towards hiring more police officers, but also the purchase of technology and equipment to help solve crime.
Now, before we get on, the next thing we're going to do is the court TV. They did a segment earlier today. So I wanted to first go over this email that was sent to me by a subscriber. And she told me that she was watching the stream from last night. And we talked a little bit earlier in the stream. If you haven't seen it, you can rewind after. The guy that was falsely accused yesterday by the Spirit Box people had made a post in response and said, please leave me alone. If you don't believe me, you can call a detective here. He put a phone number. He said, I'm not a person of interest. So anyway, this person kind of breaks down another situation, which kind of is with yesterday. And she said here, although not born and raised in Texas, I lived in San Antonio for 30 years, know the city like the back of my hand, having lived in all areas except South Side, love the city, the people, the food, the diversity, been doing some deep dive since news broke, listening and following all I can and talking about the case to friends, family from San Antonio. I'm not currently in San Antonio because caring for elderly. So there's a woman in San Antonio named Cecilia Chavez. Her TikTok is 210 La Chismosa. She may be affiliated with the group called Search and Rescue SATX. Cecilia was at the scene the day Savanah and Matthew and Fabian were found. And she sent me some pictures here. I'm going to show in a second. Doing a live. So she was there doing a live while standing with the crowd of family and onlookers being loud as F, mad disrespectful. Cecilia was not reading the room, plugging her group, Search and Rescue SATX, and saying they're in the car, Savannah's in the car. Several people turned around and looked at Cecilia while she was talking, including a larger man in the hoodie and the newswoman in a blue skirt. Towards the end, the young woman standing to the left of the hoodie in a red jacket also turned around and stared at Cecilia like, what the F is going on? Like, what's up with you? Really hoping no family members were around to hear Cecilia and her insensitivity. And so she sent me her TikTok and she sent me some screenshots. And this guy was one of the people that was put in the video. Guy in a hoodie. Let me show you right now. In that video, people were like, oh, it's him. He's a bigger guy. He came back to the scene and he's watching. And not only that, they linked this guy to the other guy from yesterday, saying that, oh, they're both the same guy and blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, the online sleuths and stuff. So it's the same guy. This post from earlier. So she was just giving me context as to how people came about that it was just some guy there at the scene and just somebody else like falsely accused. Let me send another picture. And I think people do that because, you know, you hear stories like these people showing back at the scene of the crime. And then like this person says, I guess she was wondering who's the guy in the big hoodie. Another one. That's crazy, huh? All right, so I wanted to do that. All right, let's get into this segment that came out.
We're shining a spotlight on the death of a pregnant teenager whose murder is unsolved. Savanah Soto is her name, and her boyfriend's name is Matthew Guerra. They were both found shot to death in a parked car last week. Now, police have released this surveillance video here saying that they're searching for two persons of interest right now in their murders. And you can see in the video, if you look,
I think it should be three, really
closely, the couple's Kia Optima. It first slowly approaches that pickup truck. Briefly, there's interaction with the driver.
That is really, the belly too is really like, damn. I know there's a lot of like bigger guys over there, but somebody like that might stick out. The way that belly hangs.
Somebody gets out of the Kia, but it's unclear where they go.
It's not abnormal.
The Kia then leaves the scene, and police are investigating this case as a capital murder. And at a press conference on December 28th, the chief of police walked the public through what we know so far. Take a look.
Savanah Soto and 22-year-old Matthew Guerra were reported missing by Leon Valley.
We know the story. I'll skip past this a bit. Again, they're going to be on tonight. Should be interesting.
I have two great guests to help me do some analysis now. I want to bring them in. Forensic death investigator, professor, and the host of the Body Bags podcast, Joseph Scott Morgan, and former DEA supervisory special agent, Michael Wilhite. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Thank you for being on the show. I want to play a clip from that same press conference and start here where the chief of police is saying this crime scene is quite complex. Let's take a listen to what he said, and I want to get your reactions and thoughts.
What we're looking at right now is a very, very perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder, and but we don't know for sure. So again, because of the
and Court TV's just kind of like catching up there, just reporting on the story. I'm surprised some of the other bigger media outlets haven't covered this yet. Really, some of them. It has a lot of coverage, but like some of the more you think they would have already jumped on it, and they haven't.
The complexity, the complex crime scene, we can't say for sure what we have.
Well, this is no doubt a head scratcher. Joseph Scott Morgan, would you kick off our conversation, please? What do you think may have happened here?
It's hard to say, and scenes involving vehicles are particularly complex. I think that's one of the things that he is alluding to, Julie, is that if you have a motor vehicle, you essentially can have a crime scene on wheels. And I think the big question is, or were both of these victims, were they actually killed in this location, or were they killed and the vehicle with them in it was moved to said location? I think that's one of the complexities. And he also is not going into a lot of detail relative to the position of the bodies. All we know is that they are in the vehicle. We don't know where they are. There was some thought early on that this could be a murder-suicide. Generally, those are kind of very clearly stated. You know, when you walk up, you kind of observe these at the scene. But that's not the indication that we're getting here. It is complex, to say the least.
Right. Joseph, thank you for that. And I'm glad you brought up that point about how some are questioning this and saying, could it have been a suicide? And Savanah Soto's mother spoke out adamantly against this, talking to station KSAT, saying, and I'm quoting exactly, quote, "This is not like her. She was so excited to have this baby. The house was already baby ready. There was no reason why she would just get up and go off and do that. Savanah knows what I went through with Ethan, and I know she doesn't want me to go through this again," referencing the death of her younger brother. And so, with that being said, Michael Wilhite, let me go to you here, please. We know some are wondering, could this have been drug-related? Certainly, you're an expert in narcotics, having served so many years with the DEA. Tell me, is there anything about this case that says drug trafficking or something relating to drugs to you?
A lot of it.
Everything about this case speaks of drug trafficking, drug-related. I think before there was a photo of Matthew holding a chunk of a wad of money, jewelry. I think he was holding up a gang sign too. Everything about this case thinks of drug trafficking in the area. I think that also there was, I think it was incidents where I think he was arrested on some charges too before. So there could be an incident where, you know, he tried to make a deal, place a deal to get out that case because he wanted to see his child born, and somebody retaliated. So everything about this speaks of drug trafficking. I've spent 30 plus years of law enforcement, state and federal. 23 of that is with the Drug Enforcement Administration, and everything about this case speaks of drug trafficking.
Wow. Michael Wood, I want to say, tell me more.
Somebody emailed me too. They don't want their identity out, but just told me that they're retired law enforcement and they were involved in a murder case years ago in Maryland, and it involved snitching. He had a body part removed and repositioned elsewhere on the body. Whoa. Just sharing my insight. The whole torture thing. I mean, Court TV is really, really behind, but you know, they gotta jump in and get your feet wet. That's what they're doing, and now tonight they're gonna have the family on. So it's a good thing they kind of covered this story and they had the guest on, and now tonight they're having Savannah's family. But the whole torture thing, I really wonder. I mean, maybe it's kind of insensitive to ask the brother, but I wonder if the True Crime Nighttime, I think it's called, TikTok. I wonder if they would ask him, just, you know, reference, hey, like the cousin said that he was tortured. It might be messed up, but I don't know if maybe we can get some kind of clarification, because so far the cousin's the only one that said that Matthew was tortured, and if he was, what kind of torture? You know, like what did they do to him? I haven't seen anybody else speak on that besides the cousin.
When you're saying that, I mean, this just seems so sad. Do you think, as a follow-up question to you, please, do you think that Savanah Soto and her unborn baby could have been collateral damage, so to speak, if she was with her boyfriend and not actively trafficking, but if he were the trafficker and someone was retaliating, could that be the case for her death?
From my experience, the girls that are involved in dealing with are involved with drug traffickers, they themselves might not be the primary trafficker, but they're definitely reaping the benefits of that lifestyle. The mere fact that whatever happened that night or that day that warranted the killing of Matthew, obviously the killers could not leave a witness, and she was a witness. She was part of that lifestyle. Whether or not she actually sold drugs, participated in it, she was part of that lifestyle. And she was there at the time that he was there. So what I'm saying, she definitely knew the lifestyle that he was involved in. She accepted that lifestyle. So, you know, the birds of a feather flock together.
Michael, this is really illuminating everything you're saying. Yes.
It's sad that, of course, you know, his lifestyle or their lifestyle end up costing the life of an unborn child.
Right, right. Joseph Scott Morgan, back to you. Let's say that these vehicles were moved, as you said before, that, you know, maybe the killing happened at one location, and then how do you as an investigator backtrack and figure out where the killing occurred so that you can maybe gather evidence from that scene, maybe it's surveillance cameras in the area, something like that? Tell me kind of what you do, please.
Well, obviously surveillance, CCTV is going to be your fallback position here, but also certainly any kind of cellular devices that were on these individuals if they had them on them inside of this vehicle, and if this vehicle has some kind of tracking system where they could have followed it. But Julie, if I could make one point here, please, that goes to my colleague's point relative to drug involvement. I'm very fascinated about the cause and manner of death here. And when you begin to think about the male subject, the one thing that we know about his injuries, Julie, is that the ME is referring to his cause of death as a single, not multiple, but a single gunshot wound to the head. And not only is it a gunshot wound, Julie, they're saying this is a contact gunshot wound. And just kind of let me break this down for you. This is a dummy weapon that we use here at JSU in training. But if this is a contact event, that means that the muzzle, the end of the muzzle with this weapon would literally have to be in contact with his head when this thing was discharged. Okay, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us proximity, right? You know, there had to be some physical contact between the perpetrator and the victim, the male victim in particular. This is not something that's done at a great distance. So this is somebody that has familiarity, somebody that is skilled, because if it's only a single gunshot wound, this is not something that's over the top, where you got a lot of overkill involving him. This is efficiency, okay? And if this is involved with some kind of tangential, drug trafficking or something like this, that would go to that violent lifestyle. So I'm really curious about that. And did this occur in the vehicle at this location? Were the windows down in the car? Because, I've worked a lot of cases involving shootings in cars, and people are shot through windows, sometimes random. You'll get, glass that is blasted inside of the car. We don't know that yet. But the fact that they are saying that this is a contact gunshot wound to his head speaks volumes here. This is not some kind of randomized event.
So, and we're still waiting for the autopsy, right? I mean, the medical examiner had said about the shots and the contact. That was kind of it. Seems almost preliminary, I guess. It's going to be interesting tonight, I think, to see the family come on. To see if this article has any other information. And so far, cops have been quiet. No updates since. It's been days. They both had been shot in the head. Okay. Well, this video looked actually pretty good. I don't know if they sped it up. That person almost looks like a female, too. I know we talked about this multiple times already, getting out of the Kia. Yeah. There was a thing this morning, too. It looked like a different panel. I didn't get to just see what they had
Heard
to say.
about this, the bodies of pregnant teenager Savanah Soto. Asked two-person upper. He then leaves penalty. Let's bring back in our power panel. Carl Steinbeck, Sonny Slaughter, and Susan Constantine. Carl, would you start?
Judy Ron thinks the Kia is a female. Yeah, it kind of looks like a female. That's
Start us off. Your thoughts on this, please.
Well, you had not just the murder of one person, which in and of itself is enough for capital murder, but you have a murder of two adults plus a child in the womb, which is considered a person under Texas law. So I would think that this is most appropriate. And I think this evidence with the truck will lead them to the eventual killers.
I hope you're right, Carl. I really do. A lot of people on pins and needles there. Susan Constantine, let me go to you next, please. Your thoughts on this, please.
Well, you had not just the murder of one person, which in and of itself is enough for capital murder, but you have a murder evidence with the truck.
Needles there. Susan Constantine, let me go to you next, please. Your thoughts on whether we'll see this become a capital case.
Well, they certainly did this.
He thinks the guy in the truck is a female. What?
This crime, this felony in the wrong state, right? Texas. They've got a direct line right to the death penalty. So when you've got three people, just as my other colleague was talking about, especially with an unborn infant, under 10 years old, I mean, the law's clear. If there was a felony in the progress with a burglary or whatever it was, connected to those murders, it's a slam dunk. They're going to go right to the death penalty.
Definitely, Susan. You know, hey, they've got the facts. If they can catch the person or persons who did this, my gosh, this young pregnant woman. I mean, my goodness, it's disgusting. Sunny Slaughter, take us home here. Your thoughts on whether this should become a capital case?
Oh, this is absolutely, I believe, a capital case. This is an execution-style murder of 3 individuals, one under the age of 10, unborn. We don't know why this crime happened. Law enforcement is holding everything close to the vest, which I believe that they should do. I know the public always wants information, but I believe in the best interest of getting the investigation done, solved, and people arrested, that they need to hold as much information possible as close to the vest. And this is definitely a capital murder case.
I'm with you all. Sunny Slaughter and Susan Constantine, thank you both so much. Wonderful to see you on our first show back.
Okay. So that's a little bit of what they Court TV has going on, and they're going to be on tonight at 7 Central with the family. Oh, this is another post that some people were kind of confused by this. I was at first confused at this, but I'll just explain what I think the logical thing is here. This was an anonymous poster, but it said, "This is Matthew Guerra. This is our son, brother, nephew, grandson, a boy who got caught up and didn't know a way out, a boy whose prefrontal cortex wasn't fully developed, so made decisions that obviously impacted his life that resulted in death. But he's still a boy. The smile is how he should be remembered instead of the horrendous things being said. He's someone's son, someone who loved and tried to get him out. Someone who loved and tried to get him out. Remember that." So a lot of people were kind of confused, and they were like, "What do you mean prefrontal cortex?" And some people were like, "Oh, does he have like a disability?" And blah blah blah. He's a cognitive disability. It's going on and on and on and on. And I think all they were just referring to is what this person posted here, is that the brain isn't fully developed until the age of 25. I think that's all they meant by that post. But you know, sometimes online when you post stuff like this, it could lead to a whole bunch of like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. It was quite a bit of back and forth. And I guess that just kind of means you're a little bit more impulsive when you're younger. You make more rash decisions without maybe thinking of the consequences, that type of stuff. But people are arguing here, he's a grown man, blah, blah, blah. Developmentally, he was not. There's a whole, people are going back and forth. So I thought it'd be interesting to address that. But I fix this. There we go. Okay. Oh, I closed something out. I'm only going to address this as a debunk, because I see this going around and a lot of people are kind of talking about this, and people are, you know, oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. This is the night of the murder.
What I'm about to actually show you guys is something that's really fucking freaky. One, the video starts off, you hear a woman scream. Now, word on the street is this happened in Texas, San Antonio. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, listening to it, you hear her scream, and then you see, so how the camera is faced towards out there, you know what I mean? There's a car that you can see that's parked there, very, very dark. Can't really see really great detail, but you see the mold of a car. Then there's another car, right, that's like in front of it, essentially. I say that because you hear this guy scream for help. Like, you just hear the fear in his voice, help. And he says it in Spanish, ayuda, ayuda. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Sidon.
As something's being done, they brighten
That's how you say it, Sidoni.
the light, the high beam on the car, or a flashlight. Because then it like really makes it hard for you to see. They're smart, you know what I mean? But not too smart.
You know, Savanah is tagged in the hashtag to this video, and people are commenting and people are believing this. This hasn't gained a whole bunch of traction, but I've seen it posted a couple of times. This is old. Yeah, this is actually something else. I'm tired of the filters too, NH girl. I'm tired of it. Bro, I don't know where people, it's like a movie or something. Anyway, multiple people have said that this is a video from a suburb in El Paso, Texas, nowhere San Antonio. All right. I didn't get too much track. Let me see. Oh, they took it down now. Good. I saw it posted in a couple of different groups. Now, I thought this post was good as well. Diana here posted, police information is alleged below. Both shot behind ear allegedly. Matthew did not have a firearm or his cell phone in the car allegedly. Matthew was found in the back seat with his pants pulled down. Allegedly appeared to have been dragged. Allegedly. Savanah was found in the front seat with a car seat on her lap. Car was parked with victims in car for approximately 4 days. And then the alleged speculation. Matthew's father went to the apartment once his family members couldn't get a hold of them. And again, this is all allegedly, took drugs and firearms and money. I don't know that to be true at all. On the news, I believe he said he just broke in because he was concerned and they needed to get in there or else, whatever. But I've heard those allegations going around. Father stated candle was still lit in the apartment. Car was locked, which we know, with both victims inside. No word if the car keys were found. Yeah, where are those car keys? No exterior bullets found in the car. Shell casings found inside the car. Someone was accessing Matthew's phone and viewing his messages on Telegram through Christmas Day, allegedly. And we had heard earlier in the stream where the brother had said that at some point it had seemed like somebody was, you know how like when you start typing something and the bubbles come up? It seemed like somebody was about to write a message back and then nothing. Someone was deleting videos from Savanah's social media when they were allegedly deceased. Allegedly. I haven't heard that anywhere. I don't know if that's true or not. Temporary tags from Clear Alert were replaced with permanent tags. Savanah left phone and purse at the apartment allegedly, which that now is in question because the brother said that Savanah's phone is missing. So, and then this was Jennifer Coffindaffer. She said, still no arrest. The biggest obstacle in the way of making these cases is cooperation from witnesses, which that's another thing I didn't think about. Even if there's people that know something, maybe they're not going to want to talk. I remember there was this missing girl in Florida, North Florida, that I went. Her name is Veronica Reyes Diaz. And I went and I met her family, and they're a Mexican family, and their daughter went missing. And people had speculated that it was the husband, but he was never charged. He was never arrested. And I went up there in person because I met up with this search group called Pink Justice. And when I went up there, nobody wanted to talk to, because they would go knocking on the doors and be like, "Hey, did you see anything?" Half of them wouldn't answer the door just for a flyer. I think there was quite a bit of illegals there too, so they were afraid of law enforcement. This is the family that I met when I went up there, and she's still missing. But I realized when I went into that community, it's like a trailer park community. Nobody really wanted to talk to law enforcement. They were just either to us or when cops went around, they didn't open the door for cops. They didn't want to talk to cops because they don't want to be involved. So sometimes that's the case too. Sometimes people just don't want to F with the cops or afraid of retaliation or whatever. So the biggest obstacle in the way of making these cases is cooperation from witnesses who know who killed them because they don't want to get whacked. Likely vicious gang members and associates are responsible, which I have no idea. Look at the famous case of the hit on Tupac, Blood. His own producer, Suge Knight, to this day hasn't provided information on who killed Tupac, and he was there. Saw it, grew up with Keefe D. Crip, which, by the way, that trial is supposed to be starting. Oh, in February, Harmony Montgomery trial is starting. And I think we have to cover that case. I'm pretty sure I said I was going to cover it, so we're that's another ride we're going to be in for, I guess. So she wrote here, you steal drugs, rip someone off, or mess with another gangster's girl, you can possibly make up for it and be forgiven. You snitch, and that's it. So I guess she's leaning towards it's a snitching thing. All right. So I was gonna mention one other story, just random short story that I thought was kind of crazy and interesting. And then what I'll do is we'll be back tonight, I think, to watch the Court TV. I don't know how long or short it's gonna be Court TV tonight. I don't know if I'll be back. I don't know if I'll be on at 7 exactly, because I know Court TV they do like a show, a live show, I think. So I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know how they're gonna do it. But anyway, Brazilian YouTube star Carlos Medeiros, 26, is found dead in a shallow grave at childhood friend's home after vanishing on Christmas Day. This guy had, I believe, 2 million subscribers, or almost 2 million subscribers. He was 26 years old. The last time the family saw him was at this fireworks show on December 25th, Christmas, when he told his sister he was going to visit his friend's house for a late holiday dinner in Sao Paulo city of however you say that, etc. But he was never seen again, and his body was discovered on New Year's Eve in a shallow grave at the property. The man who owns the home, 28, and his wife, 24, turned themselves into police on Monday and were placed on a pretrial detention for 1 month. They reportedly told civil police that Medeiros, who had close to 2 million subs, took coke and had a heart attack. The defendants claim they buried Medeiros by the side of their home instead of calling for an ambulance because they were scared. There is more to the story, though, because they're going to investigate whether there was more to this, because there's some allegations that allegedly he might have slept. The guy that was killed might have slept with this guy's sister. So they're wondering if it's accidental or more sinister. This is the actual shallow grave that they had put this guy in, this young man. Childhood friend, imagine that, right? The couple had initially lied and said Medeiros left their home after dinner before later confessing to a different story. They had also made social media posts asking for the public help in finding Medeiros. Please help us find our long lost best friend. We don't know what happened to him, and he's buried in the backyard. The influencer's family and neighborhood residents spent the week searching for Medeiros in area hospitals and the woods. During the search of the home, a resident noticed that dirt nearby had been shoveled and found the clothes of Medeiros was last seen wearing inside the residence. Firefighters were able to remove the body from the pit. According to police report, Medeiros did not display signs of violence. The house was set on fire by neighbors. So that's how they deal with shit there in Brazil. We're not waiting for the cop. We're burning this bitch down. You want to do some shit? Okay, we're taking your shit away. We ain't waiting for and nobody been arrested in that. Civil Police Chief Luis Faria told G1 that the incident is being investigated as a homicide committed by an unknown perpetrator. He added that investigators will be looking into whether Medeiros was killed or if the death was caused by an overdose. So they're going to have to check this whole thing out. And then police are investigating the claim that Medeiros allegedly had relations with his friend's teenage sister and that the father had gone home to pick her up. Both are being sought for questioning. So, I don't know. Is this related to that? They're going to have to do an autopsy. They're pending. If the report shows that the death was accidental, the couple will be charged with the crime of concealing a corpse. If it's proven that he was murdered, then the man and woman will be charged with homicide. Medeiros was known for sharing videos of jokes and pranks on YouTube, but had recently stopped creating content following the death of his father. Oh, that sucks. In 2023, his friend Robinson Carnicero told Brazilian news outlet. When his father died, he completely changed. His shine disappeared. He started using drugs. This friend, the male suspect, also used these things. One hypothesis is that they were both using substances and had a mental breakdown and attacked Henrique. Another is money. That's how Brazil moves. All right, they're going to burn. The community steps in. They burn the house down. Damn. All right, so yeah, I just want to touch on that. It really, really sucks that we aren't getting, any updates from San Antonio Police Department, but that doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. They have a lot of video to look through. They said they might be able to, who knows, put pieces together of, you know, where this vehicle went. Did they go to a gas station? Did they go through neighborhoods in that area? My fear a little bit is that, like, you know, clearly the perpetrators have seen the video that San Antonio police put out. So I don't know if these people are like, we need to get rid of this vehicle. We need to take it to a chop shop. I don't know how easily accessible chop shops are. I hear people talk about it, but how easily are they all over the place? And they don't mind if it's involved in crime. Will they break down the vehicle? You know, paint it a different color? Will they just put it in a garage and hide it in a garage? And then these people, are they going to hightail it across the border and run? Especially that they know that I believe this is going to be a capital charge, capital murder, and a baby's deceased. Misfer says, I don't understand with all this technology why the surveillance videos come out like they're from the 40s. There was a thing people were talking about too. Some people were asking, like, what is Telegram and all that stuff? Telegram, for those that don't know, it's just like, it's a social media app. It's supposed to be encrypted. And while there is some legitimate use, there is some people on there using it maybe for business or whatever else. I think a lot of it is just like drugs and sex that goes on there. I think underworld, a lot of it's just underworld stuff or, like, you know, whatever. There is some legitimate use, but that's a lot of it, a large portion of it too. And you know, some people were saying, you know, well, you know, can they get things from Telegram? Somebody had made a post. I wish I still had it. I don't know how Telegram works. I thought Telegram doesn't really keep the information on their servers, but it's stored on your phone locally, I thought. And so if police were able to access your phone, they could get that information. I mean, obviously, we can see the groups that Matthew was in, but we can't see like his DMs and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of more information, I'm sure, that's on there. I did see this video earlier, and they were talking about how, I mean, this is 8 years old, so I'm sure the technology's kind of stepped it up.
Pretty widespread, easy to get technology, right?
Absolutely. The software is widely available. You can download it, put it onto a laptop. All you have to do is connect that device to the laptop, and you can acquire the information that's on that device.
One of the professor students,
True,
Elise, is here to
true.
demonstrate kind of how it works here as I slide over. It's pretty easy to do, right?
Yeah, we just plugged in the iPhone a little while ago, so it's right here up on the computer. You just click iPhone 4, it bypasses any passwords that might
iPhone
be
4,
on
so you know
there,
this is old.
and you can go right into the phone. Right now we have a home phone number for a random number that I put in, and an email. Everything on the contact card comes up. Also, if there are any text messages on the phone, they are there as well. Right now we just have one since it's an unactivated phone, but on a real cell phone.
Yeah, I don't know how secure. He didn't deserve this.
Reporter Megan Reina has a story.
Oh, I didn't see this video. Wait, is this, oh no, it's a different family. 15-year-old gunned down over the weekend. Is it San Antonio? Wow, 15-year-old?
He was just so outgoing. He had such a beautiful soul, a beautiful smile. Would light up every room.
Ethan Martinez had just turned 15 2 weeks ago. On Saturday night around 9, San Antonio police say he was shot near the exit gate of this apartment complex off Ray Ellison Boulevard. His mother, Stephanie Solis, was just feet away inside their apartment when she heard the gunfire.
I just remember saying, no, 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 running to the window. My stomach sunk.
Police say several vehicles drove off. Solis says her son ran to her.
Just being with him and telling him to stay with me and just trying to talk to him for him not to fall asleep. That's not how I want to remember my baby.
Ethan was taken to the hospital where he died.
Like, I'm glad I was with him, but I hate that that's just replaying in my head over and over.
Police say they found a gun next to Ethan at the scene. Solis says her son didn't own a gun. She, along with her sister, says he stayed out of trouble.
We know how the world is, and we try to raise them up the right way and to be respectful, and Ethan was very respectful.
But they do believe he was targeted. They say he was bullied at school in the past, so much so he moved schools. While police haven't named any suspects, Ethan's family is confident they'll track down whoever is responsible.
He didn't deserve this.
So obviously they have multiple murder cases going on out there in that area. I wanted to look at this article too, from ExpressVPN, talking about Telegram and is it safe? It depends. What is Telegram? It's a popular chat app, and is Telegram encrypted? Yes, every chat and call on Telegram is encrypted. Telegram offers end-to-end encryption for one-to-one calls plus messages if you select secret chat option. Secret chat messages also can't be forwarded, and there's also a self-destruct timer you can switch on with intervals ranging from 1 second to 1 week. However, end-to-end encryption is not used on all other types of chats, group calls, live streams, groups, and channels. Instead, they use secure client-to-server encryption. Telegram states that everything stored on their servers is encrypted and the keys protecting the data are split apart and never kept with the data they protect. Encryption is critical to ensuring private data remains private, while end-to-end encryption is the gold standard. Client-server encryption also helps protect your messages by ensuring they cannot be deciphered when intercepted by your internet service provider, owners of Wi-Fi routers you connect to, or other third parties. Obviously, if they have your cell phone device, they're going to be able to access it. Are there security concerns with Telegram? Telegram stores users' data on its servers, including usernames, IP addresses, and device information. According to the privacy policy, Telegram would only share this data with authorities if they received court order relating to terrorist activities. Interesting. So what about other stuff? However, this data could be at risk of breach, of which they have already been several, with user data ending up on the dark web. Telegram's People Nearby feature allows you to see Telegram users near you, not just your own contacts, but any Telegram users with this feature switched on. People Nearby has been demonstrated to show precise location data to hackers. Oh, damn. So we recommend turning this feature off. Telegram is considered open source, but only the client-side code is open source. Its server-side is not. Okay. Always use secret chats to ensure messages are end-to-end encrypted. Turn off People Nearby. Also use VPN to shield your IP address. That's exactly what I feel. Sex and drugs. I know people are like, oh no, I use it for my business, or we use blah, blah. I think there's some exceptions, yeah, but I've never seen it as anything good. I've never seen that as anything good. Deb, I talked about that earlier. The brother said that the phones are missing, according to the brother, even though it was reported that the brother's phone is missing, but Savanah's was in the apartment, but the brother said both phones are missing. So, all right, I'm going to get off for now. I am going to timestamp this live stream when I end it now. And I'll be back later, I guess, so we can watch the Court TV Savanah's family getting on there. I'll try to figure out how we're going to do that, because usually they do their segments and they cover multiple stories from what I remember. So I was on their live one time on their show. So, but yeah, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. If you could hit the like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and yeah, I'll keep you posted. Take care. Peace. Bloop, bloop, bloop.